morning. Good morning. Good morning to all you guys. Welcome back to the show. It is July at the end of the month already, the 25th. We're Thursday. Welcome back to the Brandon Mason Show. We're talking Detroit Lions today. Before I go into that, I'll tell you that a lot has been happening. A lot has been changing. I got my earpiece back in. Finally had this big-ass headset on my head looking like a dome piece for a while, like crazy looking nuts up here. But, hey, I got my earpiece back in. Looks more professional. I feel a little better out here. Studio's getting fixed. Lights are getting set up here this weekend. It'll be a better production, ready to go live for the Detroit Lions. I got my shirt on here trying to rep some of the Lions fans out there that got something to say. Got my cigar lined up. I got my shot glass just in case things get a little crazy as we do for our play-by-play. We have a lot to talk about, and that's why I got my coffee right here. Hope all you's got yours, and I'm sipping that, and I'm getting ready to go for today's show. We got the wheel lined up. Let me make sure you see that. Bang, the wheel is ready to go, ready to spin, just in case somebody wants to make some money today during the live show. We're going to be doing that, and we're back at it. I hope all you guys had a great week so far. We're in Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. You know what that feels like when you go, hey, it's Friday, end of the week. So look, we're skating on past. Have all of you wake up in the morning and jump on here. If you're in here right now, throw the dice in the chat right freaking now. If you're in the Mason mob, if you're not, put whatever you got in the chat right now. Show some love as we get started right now and dive right into the Detroit Lions. Man, last season, we're going to go into that. We're going to go into this season. We're going to talk about impact players. We're going to Dan Campbell. We're talking about the players they got on the roster to help them get back. We're talking about the NFC North. We're going into a lot of conversation today. So let's dive into it right freaking now. So let's look at it right now. Detroit Lions needs for the 2024 NFL season. Wow, they got close last year. We got to be honest, right? The Detroit Lions surprised a lot of people. And I have some interesting facts, some things that I looked at on here. They got pretty damn close, but I hope I got this right. But it says, I'm reading it straight from the internet here. The Lions last won a championship in 1957. They are the only team that has been active throughout the Super Bowl era that has not won a Super Bowl. Okay, let's be clear about that, okay? The Lions last won a championship in 1957. They're the only team that has been active through the Super Bowl era that has not won a Super Bowl. So this is some big-time stuff we got to go into right now. We got to go into the Detroit Lions. We got to talk about what they're bringing to the table now, right? Like we said, it's what have you done for me lately? Well, the Lions are stepping up more than they have in the past. I can go back to when I remember the Detroit Lions, when I would put them on as a kid and see the games, that it was Barry Sanders, and it was, everyone says, one of the best running backs of all time, Barry Sanders. Like, it always comes into play. And if you're younger, if you're a millennial, or if you're young right now, if you're under 20 years old, you may not even know who that even is, or younger or whatever, you might say, who's Barry Sanders? Well, Barry Sanders was a dynamic running back, a guy that made plays when his line didn't block. He made people miss. He was just a very dynamic player the Detroit Lions had on roster. But like I said, they're saying they haven't won a Super Bowl yet. The only team active during this era that has not done so. And this season is a big year. And I'm going to tell you why. Last year, they made some changes. We're going to go into Jared Goff right now. We're going to the receivers. We're going Aiden Hutchinson. We're going to go into Dan Campbell, the morale he brought to the team as a coach, all that. But this is the year they have to get even further. And to get even further, put you in the Super Bowl. So let's just call it like it is. Do they have a chance this year? In the chat right now, I put the poll out there. Will the Lions get to the Super Bowl this year, yes or no, in there? And drop it in the chat. Put a Y, yes or no. Is it coming? I know people have been talking about the Lions this entire offseason. The players they got, the camaraderie, they got. And Detroit in general, they show up, the fans show up. All those years, those sleepless nights of losing games and not getting it done, the Lions fans are here more than ever. They want them to win. They want them to ball out. And this is the year the Lions could do so. They have some people. They have some players. They have a great coach. Let's move forward right now, obviously, into what they need. But first important right here on the list, Jared Goff. Jared Goff has found a new home in Detroit. He's found a new home in Detroit. And why I say that is because he showed up. He came over there from L.A., he shows up, and they love him. And I wasn't expecting him to ball out like this. I didn't think he was going to be the guy that he currently is right now. I'll just say that. A lot of people said, he'll show up, he'll play well. He did well out in L.A., but look, This is a different chapter. It's another era. It's another, segment for Jared Goff. And it says here, Jared Goff found a new home out in Detroit, and they love him. It looks like they got a chance to ball out this year. I love what Jared Goff brings to the table because he's hungry to win. And let me tell you something about quarterbacks. Well, actually, it's all players, but more importantly, quarterbacks. When they show up and get that chance to play again, it's time to win. It's put up or shut up, or you're not going to play anymore. You're not going to get that contract you want, that big-time extension to play in a National Football League. Because when you get traded by your team who brought you in, they liked you, they loved you out in L.A., we're going to that too, the combination of Matthew Stafford, the revenge game they had last season that he actually won. But when you get out to Detroit and you get a chance, say, look, here's my chance. I'm in Detroit. I'm in a new city. Jared Goff found a home, man. They love him. Detroit thinks he's great. Dan Campbell, the head coach, thinks that he's phenomenal. They had some great receivers out there. We're going to go to some impact players as well here in a second. But I believe he found a new home. I think he's on to a new chapter, and the Detroit Lions have something to brag about right now. Like last season, people were like, the Lions bandwagon was growing. The people that don't even like Detroit were starting to like Detroit. The people that talk shit on Detroit were starting to say, look, I don't like the city of Detroit, but look at the Lions. A lot of people were changing what they were saying. Look, I have all love for all the teams, all the sports teams, all the cities in the world because I think it's phenomenal. USA is in the chat right now. Let's get the flags in the chat because we got to do that every time for what our country's going through right now. Get a USA chant in there, USA, and put the flag in there. Do something, show some love because they need that. And let me tell you something, our country needs that. But Jared Goff in general, I believe, yes, has found a new home with a new franchise, and they're showing so much love to him. And I got to tell you, the yardage, making plays, getting outside the pocket, hitting those receivers. I'm going to show you in a second the impact players of who they have on their roster. They have some great receivers. And let me tell you something. I'm trying to pronounce some of these names is like another whole obstacle, right? Obstacle at the very least, I'm just saying. But I like what the Lions could do this season. I was on a podcast earlier, about actually a couple months ago, on a podcast, Detroit Lions, on their Lions Sports Talk, featured by Chat Sports, and we were talking about the Lions having a good time. Look, I like what they bring to the table. I think the camaraderie of the city is more important. Not getting that Super Bowl yet. The only team that has not done that is something that they have to get on the bucket list, obviously. And Amon-Ra St. Brown is leading that attack, too, from the receiver position. Aiden Hutchinson, I'm going to go into that here in a second. But let me ask you a quick question right here. How the Lions ended the 2023 season, did that say, look, we're heading into 2024? Did it say we were this close? I mean, they really were this close to getting the Super Bowl. They haven't done so. They haven't gotten a Super Bowl under their belt. They were this damn close to get that, right? And it was like, damn, like I actually wanted them to win the damn Super Bowl. I'm like, look, I'm not really a Lions fan, but it was like, look, they're this close. They deserve it. They're working hard. They have great players, some great draft picks they brought in last year. And again, Dan Campbell leading that charge. I'm going to pull it up right now, and let me see what I got going. At the end of last season, right, you saw the game, the matchup, Brock Purdy. You saw them go against the 49ers, and they just fell short, right? Winning this game puts them in the Super Bowl. Let me be clear. If they won this game last year, it would have put them directly in the Super Bowl. And let me just tell you something. You saw this game here, the revenge game for the Lions where you had, Jared Goff going against Matthew Stafford, and they got the W, right? They got the W, beat his old team, got the W, and felt damn good skating through that, right? Like, holy shit, won that game, and LA traded him, he got that game, and then he beats the Bucs and Baker Mayfield, who Baker Mayfield just got a massive contract as well. I mean, I don't know if he deserves that, yes or no in the chat, but he got a massive freaking contract, wins that game, and puts him into, hey, we might go to the championship game here. And you show up, you go, shit, just fell short on this W. And I'm like, look, this was the game right here that put, look, the Lions on the map even further. I believe in this matchup, the Lions grew a lot, and I believe the fans showed up, and more people stepped up and said, whoa, the Lions are for real right now. The Lions are for real, and they need a couple players, and this offseason they had their draft picks come in, right? They got some great talent that came in. It's, again, one of these things where let's not fix what's not broken, right? Let's not try to change things that are going, that are pretty good. But the end of the last season with a bang all the way to the spot where they almost got to the Super Bowl, and you're going, okay, is this the Lions year? In the chat right now, yes or no. Is this the Detroit Lions year to get to the Super Bowl? And again, every day we go into all these teams. We go through list by list, team by team, every single day until leading up to the preseason, until the season, because then it gets started. Then we have tons of live information and news, sports betting, all that live on our platform. We also have, just so you know, the fantasy league right now reached out to us, an application I talked about yesterday, wants to do a deal with us as a sponsorship and bring that to all of our people that watch our show during the play-by-plays and the morning show, just letting you guys know. But hey, not for nothing, the Lions ended the season pretty strong last year, and this year they're trying to head back into the same situation to bring those players stronger and better and closer together. And I believe when I look at some of these images I actually have on here, I said, man, this was an important game, I think, for Jared Goff, for his ego, for the Lions to say, look, here's a revenge game. When you show up and you beat LA, people are going to say, okay, Jared Goff is for real. He is for real. He's playing for Detroit, no longer out in LA, but it is for real. Ends up winning that game. And I just got to tell you, when they walked off the field and they lost to the 49ers, I was like, man, this was a chance, right? But at the end of the day, they showed up. They did some great things. I know the Lions fans were freaking pumped about last year. So let's move on to this year, and let's go into the Lions impact players for the 2024 NFL season, because it's looking strong right now. Obviously, you got Goff. Jared Goff out there. He's leading this whole mission. He's leading the team. He's the commander-in-chief. And then you start looking around who they got. Aiden Hutchinson, beast player. We're going to go into him in a second. And then you have the receiver right here, Amon-Ra St. Brown, who I think is phenomenal. And I'm like, every time I say his name, I got to take my time and say it right, say it wrong, who knows. But look, they got a roster, man. They got some roster lined up. And the first thing I want to talk about right here, leading that defense, right? Aiden Hutchinson, a guy that you saw play for Michigan, balled out, did some damage in college football. People absolutely loved. You know what? I got to tell you something. I got the picture right here. Let me pull this damn thing up, because I did have it lined up in my damn screen. Why I don't have it here? I'm going to take my time and I'm going to get it on here, because I actually wanted to show. Let me see if I got this thing in here. Let me see. If I don't have it, it's okay. We can move on to the next piece of the pie. But either way, Aiden Hutchinson, this is the kind of guy you get. A beast mode player. A guy that's going to show up. A guy who's going to hit people. A guy that's going to make plays for your defense. A guy that just shows up day in and day out, who's a beast mode type player. Right? A guy that's going to hit people, a guy that's going to wake people up and say, yo, smell the coffee, it's football time. Like, this is really what the Detroit Lions wanted. This is what the Detroit Lions needed. And this guy's going to show up and make plays all day. And let's not forget the player that people are talking about right now, Amon-Ra St. Brown. This is a receiver. This is a weapon. This is a dynamic player that the Lions really wanted, a player that the Lions really needed. And he's stepping up and he's making plays. And I love how Jared Goff can look for him at any given time. And I look up on the depth chart here at the other players, Jameis Williamson, then you got Khalif Raymond, and then in running back position, David Montgomery. They got some players, right? They have some players. We cannot forget some of this. I mean, when I'm looking at these guys and I'm saying, look, they got impact players. Am I connecting them to the Dallas Cowboys? Am I connecting them to the 49ers? Am I connecting them, to the Chiefs? Am I making that adjustment? Here's what I'll say. When I look at the roster, the Lions are pretty stacked. How they will fare off against them, we'll see. But last season, getting all the way, to an NFC playing against, the 49ers and just losing that game when people wanted them to win, it was like, okay, they're moving up. They're moving to the next chapter, I think, for the organization. I think people this year should really worry about the Detroit Lions. That's all I'm saying. They should really, really worry this year about the Detroit Lions, because they're coming to ball out. They're coming to play. And people that are watching the NFL now, all I got to tell you is it's completely different now. Watching the teams around the league, teams that were terrible for a long time are getting better. Teams that were crappy are kind of, hey, better be careful. They're coming up now. They're getting the players they need. They're getting new coaches. There's some teams out there not to hate. Teams like the Arizona Cardinals, not sure where they're heading this year. Teams like the Jaguars, who played well, who love the quarterback position out there, but it just, not really sure how that's going. But let's move into a piece of the pie right now. Dan Campbell. How important is Dan Campbell, to the Detroit Lions? This coach is someone that when you're watching football, You're like, look, this man's a beast. This guy's on the field. This guy might throw a helmet on. This is the kind of respect I think that players give this guy, that teams around the country, other platforms, other organizations, franchises, if they respected their coach as much as the Detroit Lions respect Dan Campbell, you would get the reaction that you get from what the Lions brought in. I think he's a major component. Dan Campbell, the head coach of the Lions, is a major component of why the Lions are that damn good right now. I'm just saying, he's not on the field. He's not hitting anybody. He's not tackling anybody. He's not getting any first downs. He's not scoring touchdowns. But this man is a big reason, a very big reason why, if you ask me, why the Lions are pretty goddamn good, right? They're solid because of these reasons. I love what Dan Campbell brings to the lineup. I love what he brings to the team. When you show up in the locker room and you got this guy showing up, let me pull this damn picture up again. Let me make sure I got this right. I got an NFC conversation here in a second. When I walk into the locker room and I see Dan Campbell standing here, I'm like, all right, this is the coach. When he says get out there and hit people, he's not just standing there. You know those coaches that never played in their life? Right, you got those coaches that never in their freaking life ever played, a down, never played a snap in their life, right? And they're telling you what to do. You're like, okay, first off, don't tell me how to catch a pass. Don't tell me, because you never did it in your life. Dan Campbell shows up. He's like, hit the guy like this. You're like, okay, Dan Campbell hit a few people in his life. Like you can respect what he's bringing to the table, and that's why I think the Detroit Lions have responded. Great players. I think these players show up at 21 years old, 22 years old, 23 years old. They show up in the locker room and they go, okay, my coach is Dan Campbell. My coach is Dan Campbell, and he's expecting me to ball out. Like, he's expecting me to get out there, and you can see Jared Goff sitting there following direction here, which coaches and quarterbacks, this is a very, very, very big thing. This is something that people don't talk about enough. The connection between you and your coach is a very important thing. You got your quarterback coach, you got your head coach, right? Any position coach you got. That's a big-time connection showing up every single day. People have some off-the-field issues. I'm not just talking about getting in trouble. I'm saying relationships. I'm talking about finances. I'm talking about your life in general. When you get on the field, all that has to stay at home. When you walk in that locker room, all that has to stay back at home, and it's very difficult to do. It's very difficult to do. These are normal human beings playing football, making a lot of money, but they're still normal human beings. And I think Dan Campbell brings the best out in a lot of these players. And I think it's very important. You look around the National Football League, look at all those coaches, and look at who's on the roster, and you can see the connection. That's what I was talking about, obviously, with Aaron Rodgers and his coach. It's kind of like the buddy system. I like Aaron Rodgers. Head coach is great. I just think with the Jets, more of the buddy system. Right here, you get a guy, that entire roster, and I'm going to tell you something, even the coaching roster, right? You got defensive coordinators, you got special teams coaches, you got defensive line coach, you got, cornerback, you got skill position coaches, receiver. You have a lot of coaches out there, even probably the owner is like, I respect Dan Campbell. I believe what he wants to do. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. And I think that's why, more importantly, the Detroit Lions, even the fans are like, let's believe in Dan Campbell. He just comes to the table, not just because he's big. He has a demeanor, and he has the ultimate respect, I think, coming in right now from Detroit Lions and all their fan base. But let's ask this question right here. Let's move on to the next piece of the pie. Will the Detroit Lions win the NFC North? That's the question. Will they win the NFC North? And I got the picture here to pull up, as we always do. Let's make the connection. Let's make the comparison of who they're playing this year. And we just talked about the Packers, right? We talked about the Packers, and let's go into this right now. The toughest teams they got on here, right? Like the Packers and the Vikings. I mean, in the chat right now, will the Lions win the NFC North? These are the teams they got to play against. These are who they're balling against. And I just went down the whole list of some of their players, impact players, the coaching staff, Jared Goff showing up. These are the teams that the Lions have to play. Who's going to give them the biggest test? When you're looking at this right now, who's going to give them the biggest test of this group right now? Is it the Packers? Is it the Vikings? Is it the Bears? Who will the Lions lose to? Will they beat all of them? Will they win the NFC North? That's a question right now, because this year they got to show up. They balled last year. They need to show up this year. They need to get it done for the fan base, get it done for the locker room. They got players on there, and I have all these other images I was looking at going, man, Jared Goff, this guy stepped in. It looks like he's here to stay. This is where I believe Jared Goff belongs right now. This is where Jared Goff wants to win right now. And I look at all the pictures when he came out onto the field, and he's like, look, I found a new home. Jared Goff found a new home, and I got to tell you something. It is so important for your quarterback to show up and be like, wow, the fan base believes in me. Because there's a lot of players out there in National Football League where their fan base doesn't believe in them. I'm going to tell you something. Watching players like Zach Wilson last year was like, how bad can you feel for someone, right? How bad can you actually feel for some of these players that show up and it's like, all right, maybe you should pick another team. Maybe it's almost time to stop playing football at some points, right? But I'm just saying, in the chat right now, we're going to spin the wheel right now, too. Everybody drop the wheel in the chat right now. A lucky person is going to spin the wheel right freaking now. Drop the wheel in the chat. Drop an emoji in the chat. Drop a money symbol in the chat. Put an American flag in the chat. Do something right now because it's going to pick a lucky person that's commenting in the chat right now to spin the wheel this morning. Get it going right now. Drop some messages in the chat. Put it out there. Get it going right now. Someone's going to spin the wheel this morning. A lucky person is going to spin the wheel and get a chance to make some freaking money, hopefully, because every time we spin it, you never know. You never know what's going to happen because every time I spin that damn thing or someone spins it for us over here, I pray that someone wins. Because let me tell you, there's nothing like getting one of those red X's, right? Like, you don't want to get a red X. That's all I'm going to say. And welcome back here. Let me announce you guys. D. Coleman, who's in here? Brent, Quito, how you feeling? Live on stage, baby. Roger in the building. Annie's in the building. Tracy, Kenyatta. Candy, what's going on? Everyone that's in here today coming in. Miss Lex is out here rocking and rolling. Who else is out here? Let me go back. I got to go back and see all the people that came in early on. I apologize. We're going to get that fixed. Obviously, next week coming lined up, I get a chance to click on everyone's freaking message. And when I do, you will pop up on the screen with your message out there. And I believe we have a winner that's spinning the wheel right freaking now. We got a winner right now. D-Cone, we live on stage. I love that. You know, I love that motivation. We got a winner today. Tracy is spinning the wheel this morning. Tracy is spinning the wheel right freaking now. Can anybody put Tracy in the chat right now? Put a Tracy in the chat. T-R-A-C-Y. Everybody put Tracy in the chat because someone else is going to spin right after. Everybody put Tracy in the chat right now. Drop that name out there. One lucky person will spin right after. Write the name Tracy, and you get a chance to get picked right freaking after this thing right now. Let me get this line up. I got my earpiece in. I don't know if I could. Do we have someone that could spin the wheel? Where's Brittany at when we need her? Where is Brittany at when we need her to spin the freaking wheel right now? If not, I could take the earpiece off. I could jump over there and get that thing rocking and rolling here. Let me drop the wheel in the chat myself right now so we know that we're getting ready to rock and roll and spin that thing, make some money. And let me tell you something. During the season, when we do it and there's big dollars on there, there's going to be a lot happen. Let me take this damn earpiece off right now because I don't have her over here to spin the wheel this morning. We don't have someone in the studio this morning. Howard, even my production guy's not here. Everything is rocking and rolling from a home network right now until we get our expansion of this studio. So I'm going to back up right now, and I'm going to spin this damn thing, and you're going to see me on here as well. Give me 1 second. Let me place this thing on here. Bang, there I am in the corner. You can see my seat and the wheel right there. Now that's a spin, boy. That's a spin right there. That thing is spinning. I'll put my headset on here. That thing is spinning right now. We're rocking and rolling, and I can see it spinning, and that's why I had to get some new production in here. Are we going to make some money right now, or are we going to hit the red X? I hope we don't hit the red X. We're going to see what happens right here. Oh, my God, Tracy, come on now, Tracy. All right, Tracy, we're going to give you a chance to pass to somebody. We're going to give you a chance to pass to somebody. Tracy, pick somebody in the chat right now. Everybody in the chat say, pick me, pick me. Tracy is going to pick a lucky person to spin right freaking now in the live stream. Say, pick me. Oh, she picked Candy already. She picked Candy already. She didn't even think about it. She didn't even think. Candy, or Tracy, Tracy, were you assuming you were going to get a red X? Like you already were picking someone already? Like that was the fastest thing. August is in the live stream. Everybody right now in the chat, drop the dice. We're getting ready to spin the wheel again. Everybody in the chat right now, drop the dice out there. We're getting ready to spin again. I can't believe that she picked so fast. Candy, are you ready to go? Candy, are you ready to go? Girl power, D. Coleman knows what time it is. Julie's in the building too. Everybody right now, Candy, are you ready to spin the wheel? Drop the wheels in the chat right now, everybody, because we're getting ready to spin again. Drop the freaking wheels in the chat right now, because we're getting ready to spin this damn thing again right now. All right, here we go. Someone's got to win something. Someone's got to win something right now. Let's see how this damn thing goes right here. Put some money symbols in the chat for some good luck. Can we get some money symbols in the chat for some good luck? You see what happens right now. Money bags in the chat. What's going to happen here right now? That red X is strong. There's 4 red X's out there. That's why it's hard. The 4 red X's make it difficult. Whoa, is that $100? Hold on a second. That's $100 going out to Candy. Candy, look, here's the thing, Candy. All right, I'm just saying, Candy, you got $100 coming to you right now. And on top of that, here's the question. Do you want to donate $10 to the lucky person in the chat? Don't pick your person if you want to. You got $100 coming to you. Do you want to donate $10 to a lucky person in the chat? Yes or no? Do not pick your person yet. Just tell me if you want to donate 10 to somebody. If you don't, you do not have to. You do not have to. Just say no and get the freaking money. All right, Candy wants to donate 10 to a lucky person in the chat. Everybody in the chat right now, put pick me, and Candy gets a chance to pick a lucky person to win $10. Put pick me in the chat right now. Everybody in the live stream right now, put pick me to get Candy to throw you a lucky 10 right back to you. Everybody drop it in the chat right now. Money back. Someone's gonna get some money today. And let me tell you something. We're gonna start doing money every freaking day. So as we're getting close to our live segment right now, we're getting ready to sign off. At least people are making some money this morning, ready to rock and roll. We had a freaking good time today. Obviously, we're signing off. Candy, who are you picking in the live stream? Pick somebody right now to drop them a 10. Drop them a 10. What's going on, Lions? Talk about chat sport. Mike is in the building. My girl Mike is in the building. You know we're talking about Lions. Mike has to pop in the building and say what's up, right? Because we're getting ready for our live play-by-plays this year with thousands of people coming into the building. Everybody in here. Candy, who did you pick? Tracy, okay. Tracy got it because Tracy passed it to you. It's only fair. It's only fair to do that. But let me tell you something. Keitho, listen. Keitho, you, my friend, are spinning right now. Why? Because you've been waiting patiently for the Lions for like a long time. So, Keith, let's spin the wheel right now. Are you ready to spin the freaking wheel right now, Keith? So far, we got some money. 90 going to Candy, 10 going to Tracy. Right now, we're spinning the wheel. Keith, are you ready to spin the wheel? If you are, drop the wheel in the chat right now. Drop the freaking wheel in the chat right now, guys. Everybody drop the wheel in the chat right now for Keith. He's getting ready to spin it. He's getting ready to get rocking and rolling. Drop the wheel in the chat right now. Here we go right now. And we're going to be spinning as much as possible. Every freaking day we're going to be spinning as much as possible. I'm just saying we're expanding the platform, and we're going to make this happen as much as we can to give out money. As we make money from our sponsors and all our deals, from our memberships, it goes right back to the people. Are we making some money? I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. How we looking? How we looking? How we looking? How we looking? Pass. All right, Keitho, you got to pass. So you got to pass to somebody else. Everybody say, pick me in the chat right now. Pick me in the chat right now. Drop it out there right now because he has to pass to somebody else. Do not pick him yet. Wait for everybody to start leaving their messages in the chat right now because it's time to pick a lucky person to jump in and spin for you. Let's go. How you guys feeling right now? Drop it out there right now as we head off. Who we passing to? Who we passing to? All right, Mike. All right, let's let Mike spin the wheel right now. Mike, you ready to go? We know it's well-deserved. Let me tell you something. Lions Talk by Chat Sports. Mike helped us build our freaking segment here for the play-by-plays through the year. Give us some tips with the software, a guy that's helping us tremendously. We want him to spin the freaking wheel anyway. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to spin the wheel right now? And you got to get ready to go. You better get ready to go because this year, play-by-plays, thousands of people coming in here. We're going to bring all those people into our morning show as well. Let's go. Let's spin the freaking wheel right now. Hopefully we get something, Mike. All right, here we go. We're rocking and rolling right now. That's all I'm saying. We're spinning the wheel. Everybody better get more people every day. Tell a friend about the show because every day we're going to be spinning the wheel. Tell a friend about a show to jump in here and have fun with us in the mornings. What is going to happen right now? Money bags in the chat. Can we get some good luck for Mike? Where we at? Where we at, Mike? Where we at, Mike? No, Mike. Come on now, Mike. Mike, come on now. We're giving out some money out there, but hey, even though we got the red X, Mike, we got some lucky things right now. You get to give away $10 to a lucky person in the live stream right now that goes out to them. So, Mike, pick a lucky. Everybody say pick me in the chat right now. Pick me in the chat right now. Drop it in there, Mike. Pick a random person, throw 10 after the show. That's super important to do. We're going to do that as well as much as we can every single day to give out some money. We're going to let people spin the wheel as we get rocking and rolling. Somebody gets a free 10 sent to the PayPal right after the show. As soon as he picks that person, all you got to do is go on Instagram, send me a direct message, say, hey, Mike picked me, and give me your PayPal account, and we send it right to you after the show. So right now, drop it out there. Mike, who you're picking, let them know who you selected. Who wants the money? Drop the money symbols in the chat. This is a free 10 sent right to your account. Look, it's just free money. We're going to give out as much as possible. Drop the money bags in the chat right now and see if someone could throw you some cash freaking money. And listen, during our play-by-plays, when there's thousands of people in here, this thing's rocking. I want you guys to know when we're doing the spin, we had 30,000 chat messages in here. All right, so Keito, you're getting the 10. You're getting the 10 because you obviously passed it to Mike. And I get that. Lots of love right there, guys. Listen, we're going to try to do this as much as possible. Tomorrow's our morning show. Be here at 9:55. Don't show up at 10. I'm going to start doing spinning the wheel early in the morning, and you're going to miss a chance to make the money live in the morning. Be here at 9:55 to start the show. If you're in here right now, hit the like button. And this is what I'm asking you guys. Keito, send me a direct message on Instagram. Send you a 10. Tracy, I need your PayPal account as well. Sending you 10. And Candy, you're making $90 a day. Right now, don't forget to do that. When I sign off right now, I want you guys to give it 15 seconds. Refresh it. Don't comment back in the chat. Refresh it and comment on the actual video that uploads. We're going to do that right now. I appreciate you guys. It's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday, heading into the end of the week. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. You guys are important to me. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. And I promise you, this is going to be a very big opportunity to grow with the Mason Mob. I will see you guys soon. Have a great rest of your Thursday. 9:55 tomorrow. Look at your emails. You'll know what we're talking about tomorrow morning. See you guys soon. Until next time.